Ndimasiari Africa Chipembe batanganedza comeback ya mushumo wa Living Land right on SABC2 dzina langa ndifika mogalo bombe ndichiba putipesara bakho do itakeranga manda show ya shia na musi. Today I'm very excited because rikosedza shango la the grains na oil city zothe zwithu zwane ra zishumisa ndune nanto excited because gore le sopo ya gabo sopo ina le maize ka gare. So I'm very excited to explore and learn gore industry yona e bereka jwang.
Ik denk een succesvolle boer als iemand wat 'n passie heeft voor dit wat hij doet. Hij moet lief wees vir die grond. Hij moet hard ook aan werk. Als je niet harde werker is, gaan je ook geen succes bereiken.
The day of celebration is basically the farmers that are top performers to just showcase them, to tell their story, to celebrate them, to honor them.
We are very keen to see agriculture grow inclusively, so that's including your previously disadvantaged farmers, and also to see the transformation in that space.
Each producer needs to understand their own situation and do their marketing strategy accordingly.
Mabele le disata tša oile go swana le mafela, korong, soya le sunflower di bapala karolo e bohlokwa kudu mo maphelong a rena. Sa mathomo ke gore di bohlokwa bjale ka dijo tša ka mehla gape di šomiša gape le go fepa diphoofolo. Fela o ka makala ngwana gešo go bona gore di tšweletšwa ke tše dintši jwang tše di šomišang sebjala sekhwi. Ke re go tloga go dijo tša go processwa go fihlelela go toothpaste ke re le tšona di-battery. Grain SA ke mokgatlo o mogolo kudu wa balemi ba mafela, korong, sunflower, soya, sorghum, matsokomane, canola, barley le yona oats. Ka go lebella kudu go iphediša, ba fa balemi thekgo ka tsela tše malwa go tšwa go research go fihlelela go tšweletšo ke re le yona papatšo. Lenaneo la bona la balemi le thušitše balemi ba bantši kudu mo nageng ya rena go godiša ditsela tša bona tša go lema. Ngwana gešo ga re ithute.
Asikhulume nge-Grain SA Farmer Development Program yini ene yini inhloso yayo?
So basically the Farmer Development Program is to develop a growing sector of the developing farmers focusing on grains. In terms of working areas, we work in the Mpumalanga areas, in KZN areas, in the Eastern Cape, in the Free State, Northwest, as well as the Western Cape. So that's really the focus of the work we do. You would know that Grain SA is a voluntary farmer organization, and the farmers that are members are basically grain producers.
So ngiyazi futhi ukuthi niqale i-company entsha for i-farmer development. Ngicela ungitshele ukuthi yona isebenza kanjani?
We have now basically moved this entire program into a new company called Pakama Pahama. This is a company that is the development company of Grain South Africa.
Yeah.
You know, our program is fully dependent on funding from the private sector, from the state. So this is going to be a public benefit company. So that allows us basically to give tax rebates to the people that fund us. So this program will allow us to access more opportunities financially.
Grain SA Farmer Development Program in the level nne e leng subsistence farmers, smallholder farmers, potential commercial farmers, le new era commercial farmers.
So siyazi ukuthi not all farmers are on the same levels in terms of skill development. So ni manage kanjani kwi program yenu?
You know, we've got different categories. Some farmers are literally at the level of just a hectare, producing a hectare at home. And we've got a program focusing on that group called Beyond Abundance. And the idea is to turn a hectare work in terms of production to commercial yields. So we're talking from bags of yields per hectare to tons of yield per hectare. But we also have then a group of farmers which we call smallholder farmers. So these are farmers that will have over 10 hectares to about 60 hectares. The next level of farmers is really the key focus of our program from a strategic perspective. And this is the new era commercial and potential commercial farmers. So this is farmers that are farming to make money. We want the farmers to become efficient, to become independent, to graduate from our program.
So ngifuna ukwazi ukuthi i-practice isebenza kanjani ku lama programs. Is it more of a theory ne practical?
The first point of our engaging of farmers is to get these farmers into study groups. In the study groups, we do a lot of theoretical training, but we also do demonstration trials. So we plan trials and we demonstrate in practice, but we also do mentorship. So mentorship is basically one of our key programs. So we basically attach an expert in an enterprise with the farmer. And this is not just help on a technical level of planting or harvesting, it's also enterprise-wide mentorship. So how to manage your finances, how to market, how to ethically behave as a businessman.
Ka karolo e bohlokwa kudu ya dibjala tše khwidi ba palang mo maphelong a rena ga go makatše gore go na le mokete o mogolo wa Grain SA Day of Celebration go keketa balemi ba ileng gore ba atlegile kudu mo temong tše farologaneng.
And then ngiyazi ukuthi kune annual day of celebration for achievements. Isebenza kanjani? Tell me more about that.
The day of celebration is basically a moment in the year that we sort of reflect on the performance of the farmers. Our interest is to identify the farmers that are top performers, the farmers that we can use as role models for the rest of the farmers, to just showcase them, to tell their story, to celebrate them, to honor them, and to say thank you and well done. So we'll have winners in the different categories, from the subsistence farmers all the way to the new era commercial farmers. So it's just to really put those farmers on the spotlight and celebrate them.
Later on in the program, the Bekiblation Ale Sandile, but first, the Bekiblation Ale Sislanga, who work a partnership, ya bona le Grain SA, or when I go to Kamulimi, or ka benefit a juang. Sislanga?
You're right, Janwena.
Nyapila. Ngela ungitshela ukuthi why was it important for ukuthi i-ABSA i-partnership ne-Grain SA?
So ABSA is the biggest lender to agriculture right now. We are very keen to see agriculture grow inclusively. So that's including your previously disadvantaged farmers and also to see the transformation in that space. Grain SA assists the developing farmers to grow. You see them starting off at 10 tons, 50 tons, 100 tons to 250 ton clubs. So, and that's the growth we want to see. And unfortunately, as a commercial bank, we are not able to lend to development. Grain SA is able to provide the mentorship and training, mobilize funding for development, which can start off as grants. But as they grow and develop a track record, ultimately they can then qualify for commercial loans, which is where a bank like ABSA can step in and start assisting the farmers to access those loans and grow even bigger beyond those 250 ton clubs.
Ngiyazi ukuthi futhi kune prize enhle ye New Era Commercial Farmer of the Year. Ngicela ungitshelele kabanzi ngayo.
So the prize is a tractor. It's a co-joint prize from ABSA and John Deere for those farmers that are in the 250 ton club or higher.
Ka diperekišano mmogo tše di botse tše khwi lenanego le ka kgona go hlonga balemi ba go ba le tsebo ba go iphediša ba di-grain tše farologaneng ba e leng gore ba ka kgona go thuša go fetša tlala. Ka morago ga papatšo re etela Andries van der Bol motšeasehlora wa 2019 New Era Commercial.
Living Land right on SABC 2. Gompieno ke thabile haholo ke tlisetsa lenaneo ke mo Western Cape mo pula e pleseng balemi ba bantši ka gore rena re le balemi ra tseba gore ge gona le pula re thagala kudu. I mean ha o lebella lefelo le le green le le tala le botse. Ngathi mo ngabona mntana sekhaya ukuthi kuhle kanjani la. Mogadi Place ke leng moena e mo Moresburg le gae la 2019 New Era Commercial Farmer of the Year ko Grain SA Annual Day of Celebration.
Go tloga mola COVID-19 e emišitše moketeng, Andries van der Bol ke yena motšeasehlooho wa gabjatše.
Mogadi a re tsene ka gare re kwa gore Andries lerato la gae la go ba molemi le thomile kae.
Andries o lema ka mafela, dinku le dikgomo tša nama. Bakeng sa dijo tša leruiwa o bjala mafela fase ga go nošetša mo selemong le yona lucerne.
Andries, what is your winning recipe and what makes a successful farmer?
Ik denk een succesvolle boer als iemand wat een passie heeft voor dit wat hij doet. Hij moet lief wees voor je grond. Hij moet hard ook aan werk. Want als je niet harde werker bent, ga je ook geen succes bereiken. Hij moet goed kunnen communiceren. Ik luister meer als wat ik praat. Ik denk dat is wat voor mij succesvol maakt.
Have you always been interested in agriculture? I want you to talk me through your journey.
Ik kan niet alles onthouden, maar die plaatsleven was altijd mijn eerste gedachte. Ik heb op 9 het ik de eerste keer achter een bakje stierwiel ingeklim en dit is in die veld wat ik leer. Je hebt achter skapen aan. En op 14 heb ik mijn pa me leer ploeg. Ik heb de eerste keer op een Roy Massey Ferguson trekkertje gereden. So ja, ik heb opgegroeid met landbouw in boerderij specifiek.
And when did you start farming alone?
2013 het ons hier begin. Ek en my vrou en my 3 kinders wat nog op skool was. So ons het in 2013 het ons regtig vir onsself begin werk, nie vir iemand anders nie, net vir onsself begin werk.
Andries, farming is evolving. I want to know, how did you upskill yourself in terms of modern grain farming?
Al hoe ek dit gelees het was deur internet, Dr. Google het baie gehelp. En dis waar ek nou met gaan ESA en die wisselboustelsels en die goed geleer het en al die inligting was daar. En ek het baie navorsing gedoen oor medics, oor koring en sulke goed, maar my hooffokus was destyds was dit maar vee gewees. En toe ek hier begin het graan eintlik nou die ding van my gedoen.
Baga van der Bol ba lema mo polaseng ya heketara tše 450 ka bogolo ka diheketara tše 300 tše loketšeng temo ya dibjalwa. Ka thušo ya lefapha la temo, Andries o thomile go jwala wheat ka 2015. Go tloga fao a tsena go Grain SA mme a šomiša tsela ya rotation ya go lema ka go se senye mobu kudu.
Gaan is speel 'n groot rol, die veld daar wat daar gehou word, die plaasbesoeke wat gedoen word. En dit is goed wat ons op daai level bring. En dan is daar ander goed soos die boerderystelsels wat jy gebruik, soos die wisselbou wat ons gebruik en daar het gaan ESA weer gehelp dat ons plase besoek waar die mense van wisselbou en al daai tipe boerdery die dit op so 'n manier doen om so te stel.
How does your rotation system work?
Ons het 'n stelsel waar ons op ons goeie gronde is medic en dan op ons swakke gronde sal ons koring doen op lupine en haver en dan op ons goeie gronde is meestal net medic en koring.
Temo ya koro e dirulwe ka bohlale le temo ya dinku. Crop rotation e dirulwe ka mohlare wa go tshwana le di medics tše dirang dijo tša dinku. What makes medics such a good rotational crop?
As ek met mense moet verduidelik wat medic is, dan sê ek dis 'n droëlandlosering wat dit nie is nie, maar vir my is dit uit 'n redelike goeie voedingswaarde van uit 18% proteïen. En jy kan jou koring gesond hou, want jy spuit nie elke jaar dieselfde onkruiddoders nie. Dit bou stikstof op in die grond. So ja, dit is 'n baie goeie wisselbougewas. En as dit 'n jare goeie reën is daar veiding vir jou vee, so ja.
Di dole merino di šomišetšwa nama le tšweletšo ya wool go thuša ka letseno. Go godiša lehlakore la kgwebo, Andries o lebeletše kudu go oketša dinku tša gagwe. Mme go dira seo, o tlo hloka go lebeliša kudu phepo.
Die graan en die skaap vul mekaar goed aan. Al wat ons van ons plaas afry is in skoring en die res van die mielies wat ons nie gebruik nie. Die ander kaf, haver, koring, losering, alles bly op die plaas en sit dit deur ons diere.
You know, some of the challenges that are really faced by farmers is access to market. How and where do you market the wheat?
Jy moet op SAFEX-pryse gaan. Dit is moeilik om buite SAFEX-pryse te onderhandel. In September dan kyk ons wat is ons oeskattings en dan begin maak ons pryse vas by Overberg. Ons is nog nie in daai posisie wat ons koring kan stoor vir 'n jaar en nou ons koring kan bemark. Ons het die kontant nodig sodra die oes ryp is met jou koring bemark. En dit maak dit 'n bietjie moeiliker om jou bemarking reg te doen. So ons moet maar wag tot September, Augustus maand. Sê maar middel Augustus af dan kan jy jou oeskattings begin doen en daarvolgens doen jy jou bemarking rondom koring.
As a Grain SA member, I want to know, what are some of the benefits and advantages?
As ek kyk na die werkswinkels wat hulle doen, die opleidings wat vir ons aangebied is, vir die plaasmanne aangebied is. Die ander voordeel in die vrywillige bydraes wat daar is die navorsingswerk wat daar gedoen word op verskillende kultivars en alternatiewe gewasse soos lupine en canola en al daai klas goed. Selfs met 'n marknavorsing, die melkverslae wat hulle vir ons gereeld stuur, dat hou jy op hoogte van wat die tendense is, jou insetkosteverslae wat hulle stuur en jy kan selfs as jy voedingsstowwe het, kan jy vir hulle vra om die voedingsstowwe wat hulle toets soos jou kalkse of die regte kalk is wat jy het en al die tipe goed, ja.
Ba re ka morago ga monna o mongwe le mongwe wa go atlega go na le mosadi wa go ba le maatla. Mokhwi re bolela ka Jackie, mosadi wa go ba le tsebo ya tša mašeleng, tshwaro ya dibuka le tshwaro ya kgwebo go netefatša gore kantoro e sepela gabotse.
Tell me a bit about your work. What do you do?
Ek hanteer al ons kantooradministrasie. Ek doen ons finansiële invoere. Ons het ons eie pastelstelsel nou waar ek al ons fakture, alle aankope, ek hanteer alles basies.
Yeah. So, Jackie, I want to know, I mean, you do a lot of things. You're a wife, you're a mother. How do you balance all of that?
Weet jy, dit is maar baie belangrik om 'n dagboek te hou. Alle datums neer te skrywe en dan nou maar dit so stap vir stap te vat. So ek moet sorg dat alles reg verloop.
I know that you've got 3 beautiful children and your son is studying towards becoming a farmer. Why was that important for you?
Ag weet jy, ek dink dit hang maar af van die kinders self. Ons kinders het almal in 'n landbouomgewing groot geword en hulle is baie lief vir diere, vir plante en die omgewing. So dit was sy eie keuse gewees om landbou te studeer.
You know, Jackie, I believe that every farm should have a guest house. It makes so much sense. But I want to know, when did it start and why?
Die rede hoekom ek met die gastehuis besigheid begin het is toe ons op die plaas kom was hier baie leë geboue. Ons het baie oortollige meubels gehad en dit het my bietjie laat dink, hoekom begin ek hier 'n gastehuisie? En dit werk nogal wonderlik uit.
Bjale ye yona ngwana gešo ke kgwebo ya lelapa ye e leng gore e sa tlo go atlega go ya pele. Ka morago ga papatso re ithuta go nngwe gape ka Grain SA, re tsene gape mo papatsong ya di-grain. Dula gona fao. Le kgolo gore lebeliša temo ya di-grains le tšona di-oil seeds ke se sengwe go godiša le go buna fela papatso yona e šoma jwang ngwana gešo. Ga re ithute go gongwe go tšwa go Ikageng Maluleke, economist ya mo Grain SA.
Ikageng a reng ke for example maize. Ke batla re bue ka process ya marketing ene ke batla re bue le ka di-options tse leng teng for balemi.
So ha re bolela ka balemi ba grain, re bolela ka something more than just selling their produce. Hey, o nagana marketing, you have to put together a strategy, and this strategy is supposed to encompass your risk determination. It's supposed to have your financial goals in between. It's supposed to factor in getting new markets for yourself, and it's also supposed to factor in pricing as well as looking for alternative delivery methods. So what does a farmer do? Before he gets his price determination, he needs to consider the following things. So now he needs to look at his financial position, his cash flow needs. He needs to look at, does he have access to storage? What are his goals in terms of pricing? Like what does he want out of this whole thing? After he considers this, these are the following strategies that are available to him. He can actually use a hybrid of these. The first one would be to harvest and then store. This would mean that he can sell at a certain time when the price is up. But this would obviously cost him in terms of storing. And then you get a situation where you can harvest or have a pre-harvest contract, and that's a forward contract. So you basically sell your produce in advance. You lock in the price and thus hedge against price risk. Producers can also trade on SAFEX, hedge themselves on SAFEX. That's the South African Futures Exchange. Producers can also sell on the spot market and then buy futures. And then you also have a situation where producers have mixed farming enterprises, where you have your cattle, for instance. You can feed your maize to your cattle and then rather sell the cattle. This process is quite a proactive one. So producers can't be reactive or overly reactive when it comes to their marketing. There's no one size fits all for all grain producers, and that they need to understand. So each producer needs to understand their own situation and do their marketing strategy accordingly.
Ra tseba gore mathata e leng gore di-pharmacy ba tlhakana le ona ke access go fitlhela mmaraka. Ke nyaka tseba gore lena le ba thusa jang kudu ga re lebeletse oil seeds le di-grain.
Producers are not always able to look at the markets. I mean, they need to keep track of their daily operations as well. So that's where we come in as Grain South Africa. So we specialize in understanding the grain economy as well as the factors that affect a producer on a daily basis. What we do is gather information for our producer and package it in a way that is consumable for them, and make sure that our producers receive it either on a daily, weekly, as well as a monthly basis through different platforms so that they're able to make decisions.
Grain SA e bapala karolo e bohlokwa kudu mo maphelong a balemi ba rena go tswa go tsweletso go fihlella go papatso. A re boele go Sandile go kwa go gongwe gape ka Grain SA membership ga mmogo le magazine wa bona go kgatlhisha.
Sandile, ngicela ungitshele ngepula imvula.
This is our July issue 2021. So this is basically our magazine that we publish stories for developing farmers. So this is a platform we use for upskilling farmers. We publish stories on markets, on selling your produce, grading, bookkeeping, the technical areas, soil corrections, liming, all of those areas that are helpful to assist our farmers in terms of capacity. So we print about 16,000 copies monthly, which we distribute through our study groups in all the regions we work in.
So ngijoina membership ye Grain SA, yimaphi ama benefits?
If you are a farmer, you want access to people that do the same work. You want people that you can tap into and ask questions and learn from. That for me is the first benefit of being part of Grain SA, particularly through the study group. So in the study group, you've got farmers that are advanced, you've got farmers that are just coming in. There's quite a long pipeline of development needs in that space. So besides the training that we provide, the mentorship and the demonstrations and the farmers' days that we help farmers access, as a program, we raise a lot of money for farmers. We're talking funding inputs, we're talking funding insurance, crop insurance, we're talking funding soil corrections, liming of soils, as well as funding mentorship. I think this year we are sitting at about, just about 120 million rands worth of funding that we've raised to be distributed across different farmers. So I think being a member of Grain SA, will obviously benefit you in that regard.
Mogadi wa tswantse ke thutileng yona le gono ke gore ge re ka šomišana mmogo re ka kgona gore re tswelele pele ko di-businesseng tša rena tša temo. Leina la ka ke nna ka mogelo bombe ilo šwe mkhomelo swana na montlha ka living land SABC 2 until we meet again next week. Ke šaleng a botsa.